Hey guys, welcome back to the Sim Twins. I'm Bree, and in this video I am recreating some characters from this game called Valorant. Valorant is a free FPS game for people to play on PC or Mac, and it's about this game where it's pretty much kind of like capture the flag. But there's two teams. One team is the attacker, one team are the defenders, and the attackers want to place this thing called a spike somewhere on one of the sites in the map, and the other team, they want to defuse the spike before the other team, or either that or just kill out the other members of the enemy team. So there are 5 characters that you can start out playing with, and those are the characters that I recreated for this video. The first one is Jet. So Jet is a duelist. So a duelist, their role is to get out in the front and really get all those kills in. She likes close combat. She likes to be in the front. She likes to, surprise the enemy. She's not afraid to get in there and hurt them. So that's her job on the team. And as for her hair, I went back through a couple of different choices because she has a bun on the back of her head, and she has like this wispy fray in the front, and I really wanted our fringe in the front, and I wanted to capture that fringe, so I ended up choosing this hairstyle. There's like another option I also thought about, but it didn't have like as much fringe, but it had a higher bun, and her bun is kind of like higher up on her head. So, but I found this while making these characters. I think to me, it is easier to create characters that are made from actual humans rather than from characters that are drawn, just because I feel like with animated characters there's such a stylistic to them, it's hard to recreate that. But with like humans, the Sims made it so that the characters look, kind of have the same proportions and features as a real human. So when you're creating characters that were animated and hand drawn and stuff, it's a little bit different because they have that certain style and everything. But for her, I think I did pretty well with her face. The other thing that I had problem with was like finding their clothing, because to me, The Sims doesn't have really good options for kind of like this tactical style clothing. And obviously, since all of them are in combat, they all kind of wear like combat style clothing. But I did think I sort of represented their clothing with the color choices that I picked out and the styles, because I wanted to at least have people know, like, oh yeah, hey, this is like this character. It also says, like, if you download these characters from the gallery, it says that they include custom content, so just make sure you have that checked on when you're searching for them, or they won't show up. I'm not really sure what custom content they have. It could be in another one of their outfit selections, because I only ended up choosing for their first outfit, and it already took me like 40 some minutes to create all these characters. I was like, oh my goodness, why is this taking me so long? But it did. It took me quite a while to create them. And then the other part I was like trying to kind of figure out was their traits. I gave Jet athletic and ambitious because she is that, and then I also gave her, I thought about this for a while, but I ended up giving her the jealous trait, because I just felt like that jealousy, she's like, she wants to be the person always out in front, so she's a little jealous if people get in her way for that. But next up we have Brimstone. I don't play with Brimstone on the game, so I don't really know much about his character, but he's more of a person that kind of lays back and is more tactical. So he thinks more about the moves he should make and before he does them and stuff. So he kind of just lays back and let the other people go in first, and he's kind of just there to clean up or be backup and stuff. So for him, I think I did worse on his face. He has this like really strong jaw, and I was trying to recreate that, but it wasn't as square as I wanted it to be. And I feel like none of the jaws that I've seen in The Sims are super square. And I think it's just because like the way that they make their chins, like it makes it look like their chins look too pointy. And I'm like, no, the chin's not that pointy. It's more square. So I think personally, I didn't do the best on his design. I think sort of maybe you could be like, oh yeah, this is sort of that character. But overall, I wasn't too impressed. And also, just like with the options for him, I felt like I didn't do as well on the options, because he wears like this beret. And I realized that in terms of hats, the Sims are lacking in the amount of berets they have. They have like all different sorts of hats, but they have like newsboy hats, paperboy hats, but they don't have berets. Like, they have this one beret, and it just kind of, to me, it sits weird on the head. So, but the color of the beret did kind of match the color of Brimstone's hat in the game. So I was like, we take our wins, we take our losses. But yeah, so for his clothing as well, I wasn't too sure about how to go about it. Like I said, obviously that none of these Sims are able to really have kind of like the tactical style clothing I would like. But I think that'd be cool if somebody like made a pack out of these clothing things from like video games. Like, even if it wasn't this specific game, if they just like made clothing based off other video games, that would be really cool. I think because there's like a lot of cool designs out there for clothes, and I think that would be cool for someone to make. So for him, I ended up choosing kind of like more of like a it's more like a rain jacket / winter type jacket, because it's kind of bulky and heavy. But to me, it also kind of reminds me of like Star Trek or something for some reason, even though it doesn't like look like Star Trek, but it just reminds me of that for some reason. And also it's from Eco Lifestyle, and I will have to admit, think that Eco Lifestyle has the most, to me, tactical type clothing out of all the packs so far, and I think that was pretty cool. It did go along with the whole recycling theme, because I don't know why. When also I think of like hippies, like I think of like hippies that wear like clothing that's very loose and flowy. But then also when I think of hippies, I also think of them wearing like very tactical type clothing, the pants with all the different got the cargo pants with all the different pockets. So there's like definitely a spectrum on the clothes that tactical or hippies wear. The next character is Sage, and this is a character I play most of the time. She is the healer of the team. Her job is to also lay back. She can build a wall. She's very much more a defensive character rather than attack. That's not a word. Rather than a character who's more all about the attack. She's definitely a defensive player. So yeah, I do play her the most because I am also defensive when I play this game. Not all games I'm defensive in, but this game, I just find myself being afraid to run in and rush the other team, which I've been told that I need to do that more. So, we'll see. It does scare me because the game is like super, like, it's really a lot about the audio as well. Like, you can hear the other people footsteps, so you kind of get like paranoid. You're like, okay, which way are they coming? You have to like learn like which way they're coming from. It's a lot of like knowledge and skills that you have to learn to play the game, and I definitely don't have all of them yet. I'm not too great at it, but it's all for fun, and I don't play seriously at all. It's not to me about competition. I know a lot of people are very competitive in the game, and they want to like really get good at it, but for me, I'm just like, no, that's not really my goal to be competitive. I just want to like play and have fun with my friends and stuff like that. So yeah, but anyway, Sage, for her eye makeup, like, I just wasn't impressed really with the options for eye makeup, because the way they drew the characters is like they have very minimal makeup, so it's kind of hard to like show that they had minimal makeup in The Sims, which is kind of weird because like, of course you could put no makeup on, but I didn't like the no barefaced look for them. But I did end up giving her some blush and stuff because her character had some blush. And I think for like in terms of hairstyle, like her hairstyle is pretty accurate. It's just the fact that she has more fringe in the front, but there's no high ponytails on The Sims that have the fringe in the front. So I'm also disappointed in that. There's like a lot of things that disappoint me with the with the choices in The Sims, and I'm sure there are custom content hairs out there that are made specifically with that in mind. But yeah, it's just not my. I did not download them. And for her outfit, I didn't find an outfit that matched very well because she sort of wears kind of like a long tunic with leggings underneath. So yeah, the outfit I ended up going with wasn't too impressive or anything. But as in terms of like everything else, she does have these really nice earrings. I did give her some earrings. She's like, I think, No, there are other characters that wear earrings too. But for her, I made her the purveyor of potions, which I thought, you know, since she has all these things that she uses, she can resurrect people, she can heal people. She would, to me, like, be kind of more magical. I guess I could have gave her, like, the spells and stuff, but I didn't feel like she would be. She's not really about magic. She's more about using, like, healing potions and stuff like that. And so, what is really interesting about these characters, it's not like they're superheroes. It's not like they have superpowers, but they sort of do, like, with the things that they can do and the things that they can use. It's sort of like they have kind of, like, heightened abilities. But the next character I'm creating is Silva. Silva, to me, though, is, like, the character with the least kind of, like, heightened abilities because he relies more on bow and arrows as well as a drone that he has. So he uses more equipment type style stuff. So to me, he doesn't have much of, like, this whole, like, kind of, like, super heightened ability type thing. And for him, I ended up choosing a female hair for him because his hair is kind of like a mullet, but on the side, he's got this shaved head. And so I really wanted to resemble that. And then this hair I almost chose, but it has, like, pigtails in the back. He has, like, braided pigtails in the back. So if it just wouldn't have the braided pigtails and it just would have been, like, short, it would have been, like, perfect. But anyway, I ended up choosing this one to kind of represent that. If it didn't have and he sort of has, like, a braid in his hair, but if it had, like, the shaved sides, it would be more perfect for him. He also has, like, really, really strong features. He's got this square jawline and thing like that, so I tried to recreate that the best I could. And I think I did a better job on him than I did for Brimstone earlier. But he also has, like, the thick nose, a very prominent nose. You know, he just kind of has, like, Thor. You know, he kind of looks like Thor in terms of his facial features. He's got that look about him. So yeah, I mean, for him, he is a character that sort of also, he sort of, like, gets in the front, but he doesn't get in the front to attack people. He gets in the front to scout out the area and do recon and figure out where the enemies are, because one of his abilities is to shoot an arrow to reveal location of whatever's around him. So he's very much more, when you play him, he's more of a strategic character. He's not too much about just randomly going in and shooting people. He definitely doesn't lay back, but also at the same time doesn't just rush the other team like some of the other characters do. And for him, I also struggled with his eyes because it's the way that their characters' eyes are drawn. They do look human and stuff, but they don't necessarily match exactly the features that The Sims has for their characters. So none of them look exactly what I wanted them to. And his outfit, I was, like, disappointed in the most because I just couldn't find a good outfit for him. Because in the game, he has, like, this cape that he wears, and there are no capes in The Sims. I think it would be cool, though, to kind of get, like, a superhero pack in The Sims. I know, like, probably people aren't asking for that, but I think a superhero pack would kind of be cool. I don't play too much in terms of, like, supernatural Sims and stuff, but I do think that would be, like, just a fun pack to have, like, super powers and stuff like that. But yeah, for him, I chose location because since he's, like, the person that kind of does all this, like, recon type thing, he's more about location. But unfortunately, since I only have Island Paradise, he had to be a beach bum. But at the same time, like, I feel like if he wasn't in combat, maybe he would be a beach bum. Maybe he's more of this, like, loner type who's all about the beach life, you know? We don't know. We don't know what these characters do on their off time. So I was going to change it, but then I just kept it because I was like, you know what? Maybe he would fit that. And last but not least, we have Phoenix. Phoenix is another duelist like Jet. He is the person to get out there in the front, and he just goes to town on the other team for the other members. He also uses, like, a lot of things, like he uses fire and uses kind of, like, different types of tactics to from a distance kind of hurt the enemy as well, but he's also not afraid of getting up in their face and doing close combat. Although Valorant, to me, like, it's not really a game of close combat. It's definitely more of a game of, like, long range, because there's all these different type of weapons that you can use, and they all have their different abilities and ranges. So there are, like, abilities to use, like, knives and stuff, but people really don't use knives in this game. They definitely use the other weapons more often. For him, actually, they actually had the hair that he has. He has this blonde dyed hair or bleached hair on the tips. So I was actually surprised that it actually matched him. And as for the body shape, like I made most of the guys pretty buff because I mean, obviously they're out there like shooting people. They're not going to be like skinny. But for Phoenix, I made him a little bit more trim because I thought his character body type was a little bit more trim than say Silva or Brimstone. But for his outfit, I was the most disappointed in not finding what I wanted because he has this really cool jacket. And The Sims has so many options of jackets, but just not the jacket that I really wanted. Because the thing about his jacket is there's one ability that he uses where he flicks his jacket like up at the corner of up at the collar area. And so I needed a jacket with a really nice collar, and I just wasn't finding it. But I ended up choosing this one, and I was like, you know what? The colors sort of matched. They got the gold zippers and everything, so I just ended up keeping that one. But I was like still a little sad that it didn't fit exactly with what I wanted. But we're almost getting to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. These characters are available to download from the gallery. Our ID is the Sim Twins 14, so feel free to add these characters to your game. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell to know when we release new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!